So you're going to Australia, you've started to apply for the visa, you're writing down your bucket list, you're about to buy the flights, and then it hits you. Holy shit, this is real and I have to save money. Hey, it's Clouds from Welcome to Travel, and we know exactly how overwhelming it can be when you're trying to save for your big trip to Australia if you're coming on a working holiday. In this video, we'll talk you through the tips and tricks that we've learned ourselves for budgeting and saving ahead of your departure, and also what has worked the best for our travelers. If you're up to the stage in your working holiday journey where you really need to start saving, then please watch episode 7 before this. Episode 7 is with Welcome to Travel co-founder Daryl, who guides you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to use our free savings planner resource. This is a great tool that is completely customizable to yourself. It's been helping hundreds of travelers before you accurately monitor and track their savings leading up to their departure. Now in this video, I'll be covering the tips and tricks you need to implement in order to maximize your saving. I promise you, if you follow these steps and use a resource like our travel savings planner, you will save like a champion and reap the benefits of all your hard work when you are finally here in Australia. As a general rule, we do recommend that you start seriously saving about 6 months before your departure and no less than that. The further in advance, the better, of course, but 6 months is generally a pretty good amount of time to implement these changes and start seeing progress. Now, everyone handles their finances differently, but either way, you do need the motivation to save. So hopefully you are excited about going on this huge adventure to the other side of the world. So use this as your motivation to save, and always remember there is a finish line. So tip number 1, work out a savings target and transfer weekly. Yes, it is nerdy, but if you've planned some traveling, chances are you know roughly how much you earn each week. I'm assuming you have a job. So this will allow you to do some pretty accurate estimation. Work out what you need for rent, bills, and food. Leave a little extra for the special things like someone's birthday, and then save the rest. The best way to do this is to have the money come out of one account automatically and into another that you can't touch or access. I always made sure that when I was doing this, my savings account had no physical card that I could then use to withdraw money at an ATM or buy things. So once I had transferred into my savings account, I basically assumed that that money didn't exist anymore. Sure, life may seem a bit quiet for a little bit, but you'll be having the last laugh when you're, I don't know, sipping out of a coconut up in Cairns and uploading your Australian beach shots for all your friends back home to see. Now, to help with the motivation, inspire yourself with photos of the destinations that you want to go to and put them all over the place. It could be on your wall, screensaver, on your bedside table, your phone background, just anywhere to remind you and give you that motivation to be saving the money. Now, tip number 2, plan your food for the week and don't eat out. I'm not saying you need to plan everything to eat for the entirety of that week, but the more that you plan your meals, the more you will save. You can still eat well, just make sure you're the one cooking it, not the local restaurant. My tip would be to plan your lunches and dinners for the week and do the entire shop on a Sunday altogether. Get your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday lunches cooked on the Sunday, and then make your dinners every night. To be even more smart about it, and assuming you are disciplined to not eat it all in one go, make a really big dinner and then pack the leftovers for lunches each day as well. If you're a heavy snacker like me, always go and buy those big like trail mix nut bag things and create a portion for each day so you can snack on it throughout the day. However much you need to make sure you're not going to the vending machine or the local 7-Eleven around the corner and getting those snacks each day. Now, if you do this, I estimate that your 6 month savings will be around $50 per week, which over the course of half a year will save you $1,200. Just from snacking. On to tip number 3, get yourself a cheeky second job. If you are purely trying to save and trying to cut back on the social spending, then why not fill up 2 or 3 extra nights a week and work? I'm not saying you should be working every waking hour 24/7, but if you can pick up a shift for 3 nights in the week and you weren't doing anything anyway, then why not? An extra 15 hours per week could be an extra $300, which will absolutely add up. Go into the local bars, cafes, restaurants, and shops and see if they need anyone casually. Don't email your CV in, because by the time you've done that, they've already given the job to someone who bothered to walk in. Now, my estimated 6-month savings, if you do get that second job, would be around $200 a week saving after tax, which would equate to around $4,800. Tip number 4 would to be consider getting on Upwork, Fiverr, or 99 Things. Do you have a passion for something you'd perhaps like to do one day? Do you have a talent that you're not making the most of? Are you a keen blogger, video editor, or perhaps an audio engineer? If the answer is yes, then this is your year, as there are websites available that basically work as a open skill set sharing forum. If someone needs 5 videos edited by next week and you love editing, you've got the time, but you're not necessarily a pro at it, then offer them a discounted price. Drop them a message, get on with it, and spend the earnings on a month's worth of pad thai in Southeast Asia. An added tip on this would be to work for a lower rate initially, build up your profile, and then you can start charging more for your time. An estimated total savings for 6 months if you do 1 job a month, anywhere between $150 and $900. Tip number 5, sell your shit. Okay, this might seem a bit desperate and drastic, but what have you got to lose here? Are you that person that has a wardrobe full of things and you've got plenty of items that you stare at every morning and think, when will I wear you? Or why are you still here? We all have those clothes that would suit anyone else but ourselves, or that we bought and instantly regretted. If so, then let's get rid of them. Once you're off traveling and living your best life, you will forget about the pair of jeans that you never wore because they didn't fit you that you sold. Get them on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Gumtree, or even Amazon, depending on what the items are. I personally frequent Facebook Marketplace quite a bit and can vouch for how good it is to sell secondhand things on. An added tip to even consider would be to do a car boot sale or go and book a stall at your local market and sell things there. Yes, this is definitely a thing. I've personally done the market stall thing and I was able to sell the majority of my stuff in 1 day. And if you share the stall with a friend doing it as well, you can split what the stall costs, which means it is incredibly cheap. And again, you sell your stuff in a matter of half a day. This would be suitable if you do have a lot of things that you're willing to part way with. Estimated 6 month savings for this would be, if you sold all your stuff, about $300. Tip number 6, cut your monthlies. Okay, so this can be a tough one and I totally get why. And let's not be silly, I know you need your contact lens prescription for your eyeballs, and I'll let you have electricity, water and gas and essential living things. But what don't you need? What would you rather be doing? Go for a skydive in far north Queensland over the Great Barrier Reef, or be able to press skip on your Spotify? Obviously, we love Spotify, Stan, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, whatever. But do we really need these luxurious hibernating platforms for the next few months? The answer is no. Do you have a gym membership that you pay monthly that you never use and genuinely don't go to? Or could you be paying for a slightly less expensive gym? Another added tip would be, if you have something like cable TV or an oversized phone and internet package that you pay monthly as well that you probably don't need, then we can look at scaling that back as well. And definitely look at cutting those things altogether when you are away, if you're not locked into a contract, of course, because you don't want to be paying for any unnecessary things back home while you're on the other side of the world wanting to travel. So I estimate a 6 month savings to be about $50 a month, which is $300. Right, tip number 7 scares me as much as anyone else, but cut your daily coffee, or at least your second one. I can sense genuine fear at the thought of working and getting through a day without caffeine. Because will we make it to 11 a.m? Will we murder a colleague? I'm not sure, most likely. Will your body, brain, spirit, and soul shut down at 2 p.m? Also yes. Introducing what I like to call brown water. It's instant coffee, and it's going to pay for you to see the Great Barrier Reef, or 4-wheel drive around Fraser Island, or go surfing as much as you please. So anyway, you don't have to work without caffeine. I'm not telling you to do that. Take a keep cup with you of home coffee, brown water, or take advantage of the tea and coffee supply at work. Just stop buying barista-made coffees at your local cafe for a while. If you tend to be buying your coffees with spare change that you find lying around, put that spare change in a jar from now on. It's an old tactic, but you're always surprised by just how much money is in that jar when you finally break it open again. Now, so an estimated 6 month savings from this, if we're buying 1 coffee a day at $4, 5 days a week for 26 weeks, that's $520, which is concerning because that's just silly. Tip number 9, cut the big weekly night out. Have you always lived for the weekend? Are you that guy or girl that always gets socially excited and shouts everyone's shots? Or the one that's still drinking and wants to kick on when everyone else is going to get a juicy kebab and go home? It's time to rethink how important that last gin and tonic really is. Either way, you're going to need every last dollar that you have, and it's time to get clever with a bit more pre-drinking and maybe going out on discounted student nights, for example. A better option would be to just have some more low-key weekends in a row, to be quite honest. Hot tip to make this a bit easier is to get that second job so you're actually working these nights. Still amongst the social atmosphere, but you're behind the bar earning the money, not spending it. An estimated 6-month savings for this, assuming you spend around $100 a night when you do go out, would equate to a total savings of $2,600. Now, this is a very modest calculation because I know for a fact my idiot brothers tend to spend around $200 a night when they go out in the city. Okay, so if you implement all of these tips over about a 6-month period, your total estimated savings will come to around 10,870 Australian dollars. You could go traveling with an additional 10 grand plus by just being a little bit smarter and implementing these few changes half a year before you leave. And that's just all extra savings. Now, a total savings target is of course very reliant on your income, and that differs for everybody. But even if you aim to save an additional $200 per week, you'd be taking home an extra $5,200, which is an incredibly healthy amount of extra savings. So guys, this doesn't have to be an overwhelming process. All you need is the motivation to do it properly and implement these changes in advance. Okay guys, good luck with your savings. If you haven't already, go ahead and download our free travel savings plan. I've linked it below for you. And trust me, these small changes in the short term will be so worth it in the long term when you finally embark on your huge adventure to Australia. Now, next up in this working holiday series, we are actually going to guide you through the visa application process on the immigration website. This video will be done as a step-by-step tutorial and is relevant for both the 417 and the 462 working holiday visas. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.